Hello, my name's Virginia. I'm going to talk about peace. Peace has been like big on my mind. I like how important it is for me. Like my type of peace, I feel like everyone has a different type. Different interests might even play into that, what gives you peace. My type of peace is very curated to me and my interests. Like I like being quiet, so that's already somewhat of a default, is to have peace. I have problems with limerence, so that is something where someone can throw, for me anyways, someone can throw a spell over you. Happens in your childhood. It's to do with childhood wounds and just complex trauma. And a person has an idea that someone is better than them. And it can also be, the stronghold can be familiarity. Like if it reminds you of like a family member, it can be something that lowers a person's defenses. So when I get triggered by someone that is familiar and they're jabbing at me, my limerence comes up, and it's kind of like I am hypnotized. And because in my past when that would happen, I would stay quiet because I didn't want to rock the boat. And so that's where the past comes up, and it's like, oh hey, you gotta be quiet now, don't rock the boat, don't stand up for yourself, because you know what happens when you stand up for yourself. It's abandonment, it's uncertainty, it's self-worth, it's, all that ties in there. And then where peace comes into play with that is, the more peace I have, the more clarity I have in recognizing that that's what's popping up in my head. Like, oh, that's a familiar trigger, like of complex. It's emotional. It's like complex emotions. Because you want to speak up, but there's this hold that, like, what happens if you have to have a lot of faith too. But a big thing with peace is I get my peace from the man upstairs. So, because I have a belief in God, then I believe in his son, Jesus. And then I access peace through that. So it's kind of like the way I was explaining it to a friend was, it's kind of like dopamine. Is it dopamine or serotonin? Like you only have so much, and if you give out too much, then you're depleted. So I noticed people's energy would deplete me, and it would question my self-worth because they were cruel. But I didn't recognize that because it felt familiar. And that is where the complex trauma comes in. So, one way I accept peace is knowing there's a plan. Knowing whatever happens in this world, I know where I'm going after. Peace is me knowing that someone's in control. And then peace is also me remembering when I'm triggered that this is part of the plan. And then I believe at that point a person has more clarity and you react with more authenticity. And it's really only stuff a person figures out after they do the hard work. And people don't like to do the hard work. People want to coast along and just siphon peace off of you. And when I'm seeing you in this video and talking, I mean me, but I don't know. I speak in third person. Is that third person? Yeah, so it's much more convenient to take your peace. Okay, but I only have so much. And it really boils down to a feeling of dread that a person ignores because, well, it's familiar. But you're noticing like, oh, I just, like there's something here that I can't get over. And you don't even realize how it's affecting you until you remove it. And then, yay, I get to keep my peace. Thieves do not make life peaceful. And a person, when they're trying their hardest to do what's right, give or take moments of weakness, but a majority of your intentions are, hey, I want good things for everyone. I want us all to get along. And when that's happening, you have to be okay with letting go. And there's a lot of letting go that ties into peace. And if suddenly a person finds themselves absent of my presence and they're like, I miss that, and now I have anxiety, and now I want that back, but I'm not going to give them a choice to come back because I'm in control. I want to control it. That makes it obvious that they don't have very good peace. Like, let go and then see if it returns to you. Oh no, but letting go means it means I'm not in control. Well, aren't you over there talking about being about God being in control about everything? Then why isn't he in control of this? One thing that affects my peace is when people tell me God wants differently for me in my life than he is telling me. Oh, you think I should repress my feelings and just step back into the role that you want me to play? Okay, but God's not telling me to do that. So it says 1 Corinthians 15:3, and it talks about bad company corrupting, and that can be familiar people. That can be what they're hiding behind, like, hey, I can be cruel because I'm familiar. And that's a thief. That's not really an authentic person. I think they start out authentic, but somewhere in there they get manipulated by bad discernment. Because I like to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I really don't hate them. I think there's a plan for everyone, and then like God just says, hey guys, go out there and you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that. And because a lot of the time it's like, well, I didn't know what to do. And I think a lot of people act from there, like, oh, I didn't know what to do. But then get off your high horse and figure out what to do. And if you're doing something and you're getting worse and worse results, then stop doing that. Like, kids learn that from stove elements. Like, hot, don't touch that, it's hot. Yeah, peace for me is more access to clarity, so I can be my authentic self and say what I think and tell people what I want, because that's how you communicate. And being aware of that now when I'm older, it's like I never learned that at home now, did I? Like, I haven't learned that until now. Oh, that's how you do that. Okay. And what do you do with bullies? What I do with them so far, and I just want to keep it up, it's like, are you okay? Are you okay? I want that, like, tattooed somewhere. And also pick on someone your own size. That one I've used before. Pick on someone your own size. I just want to get better at using that. Like, I think everything just comes with practice. Like, more effort I put into wanting to do the right thing, like, the more effort I put into feeding the good wolf, like, that's where my results are going to be. Like, where do you spend your time? Working on myself. Peace for me is being able to distract myself from what's really crazy and going on, and just to be able to sit in silence and just be grateful to God that I have him and he's blessed my life. Yeah, it's hard. Like, you have two hearts. Two hearts. Are you gonna have it hard from not doing anything? Or are you gonna get off your... Yeah. And you have to not do anything too. Like, there's grounding. Like, okay, I'm gonna spend this quiet time and I'm gonna use it to do right things. And sometimes scrolling is the right thing. I'm not saying you should always be doing it. Take breaks. Peace for me is taking breaks and then going hard again. And then that ratio, like, I'm sure as a person gets older, that probably gets less, like going hardworking. It's very interesting when a person doesn't necessarily make sense of it all the time, but you speak up anyways, and sometimes you don't have to be right to be effective. Stepping out in faith, it's like, well, I don't really have, I know I'm supposed to be moving around, but I don't really have an idea of what to do, but I know I should get out. That's where it's like, and then you monitor the results. Okay, that's what that is. That's what that energy, that effort I put into that, that's what it's giving me back. And being vulnerable makes you relatable. And people don't get that they are cruel. Like, there's a lot of grace there. People don't get that their fear is wrecking their lives. The fear of losing control is wrecking their lives. Well, now you lost it. What you gonna do? Oh, we're just gonna double down. Okay, but you're gonna get the same results, like, of your whole life. Like, wouldn't it just be easier to submit to the higher authority, the one that's in control? I think they have a cup of wrath and they have to drink it, and they cannot finish what they're doing until they've drank it all. But the more people get involved, the more people pay attention. And for someone that's removed, that doesn't bother me, because, well, you can't reach me and tell me what's going on, and I'm not even asking. But what it does do is it sheds light back on them. Yeah, so that has a little bit of a boomerang effect, and there are times to speak up and be like, hey, this is my truth. You can say your truth, and people will eventually find the truth, and they'll see through the other person who's telling the lies, because the truth doesn't change. Like, lies do. Like, it's like, oh, do you remember it that way? Did you? Oh, I did such a good job. Oh, sometimes I do like the worst job, and then I still get that I did the right thing, but I did the worst job. It's just like, oh, I sucked. Like, I'm such a loser. And then I still get a good reaction. It's like people are blind to how terrible you are to a certain extent, because they kind of have an idea of that you're good. And I get that. I think they have limerence. The more a person realizes where their wounds come from, the more peace a person has. Oh, that wasn't my fault. Oh, and then it wasn't necessarily their fault either. Yeah, they should have known better, but like, it was just all part of the plan. Oh. And this is part of the plan too? Oh, this is part of the process. Ah. People do not talk about how due process is important. Like, paramount. It's the big word. Very, very, very important to due process. That's like trying everything. That's like before they send out a vehicle, like test driving it. That's a lot of testing. That's being tested and going out and doing your own testing. So now you're like a scientist. guess I could put that on my next resume. I do my own scientific research. Yeah, I don't know. I feel it's important to talk about peace. Maybe I was all over the place, but when have I not been? This is just noise in between life and death, being born and death. So just like noise. And I feel like peace is underrated. People do not consider it. Like, it is a cup. It's one of the many cups. And I like my cup of peace full so that I can make wise decisions. And have good discernment. Anyways, with that, I'm just going to peace out. Bye.